Hello and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Live. You know, today it's another episode of AFK. Yesterday, I was supposed to be like an AFK thing, but I ended up not being, I ended up not being like quiet and everything. So I kind of like. But anyways, last episode we got here to the end. Went a portal. Let me take a screenshot of these coordinates because I'm not really trying to get lost. All we're gonna do is actually place down some torches first, because this too. Put some torches all around here. We're trying to like light it up. Gotta light it up, light it up. I need to put another. I need to find more diamonds. Actually, I can put more diamonds towards the pickaxe, but I need more experience levels. I just saw some quartz. I need quartz so I can start. What's it called? Damn hog. I hate that damn hogs. Damn ham hogs. Um, but yeah, oh look, quartz right there. Quartz right here. Here. I am safe as long as I don't dig out. Uh, I'm safe as long as I don't dig out any gold things here. So I'm safe to everybody but the damn. What the heck? What are you looking at like that? Okay. Oh, wait, there's some more right there. How could I miss it? Uh, but this might be I might meet myself halfway through. Just letting y'all know in case y'all just like hear silence and just like it's not because I accidentally muted. It's because I on purposefully muted it. It's just because I know I'm gonna get more. So and I have efficiency. So I'm gonna go along this wall. I also want to collect these things, so I'm gonna start doing that right now because these look cool. So might as well use them for decoration over there. There's some right here. Right here. Bam. And one right here. What the hell? Am I supposed to like the top one? I guess. Interesting. I'm actually gonna keep going over here. I was getting a little nervous because I saw like lava right here. Oh, I hear them damn pigs. Damn meat boy. But yeah. So we're level 28 now. So that was pretty fast. That was only like a few veins of quartz. See more light fixtures. Yeah, I want to use these for the lighting over there at my house, my base, because I need to also get glowstone because I want to have the option to have either or, you know. Somewhere up there, somewhere up there, somewhere up there. I really need the quartz. Oh my god, I watched the new Diddy documentary. Like, the tea was spilled, okay? I'm telling you, like, the show, I recommend it so much to you guys. And, like, it's so interesting to know things that I didn't even know. Like, I thought he was just, like, a person, you know? I thought he was, like, throwing freak offs, like, recently, you know? Like, early 10s, recent, you know? But I didn't know he was, like, friends with, Biggie, like, the Notorious B.I.G. I didn't know he was friends with him. Really good friends, apparently. I didn't know he was like diddling back in the day because one of his like closest like buddies that he started his like record label with, or that started the record label with him. Apparently, he was diddling with him. Like apparently, like Diddy sexually assaulted him numerous times, and I was like, oh, I didn't even like because they showed him being like this like straight guy. I was like, oh, he's not gonna be doing that shit like early on. Cause we all heard like the 50 Cent shit that he bent over 50 Cent, and I was like, ooh, I'm scared. Like, so like, and then like the credits show that the executive producer 50 Cent, and it hit like it's like AKA 50 Cent, AKA like his name. It was like his first name, then it said like in parentheses 50 Cent, and then his last name. I was like, ooh. I was like, well, period. Go ahead. Pop off. Like big old girl Tanisha said. Like I was like super stunned. I was like, ooh, because he was one of the ones that was like speaking out about it, but like in reality, he really didn't say anything. Little bitch, little motherfucker. Like he spoke about it, but he didn't really like say anything. Like he said, I don't even know what he said to be honest, but I know he spoke about it. But I'm pretty sure he didn't speak about like making the documentary about him. So that's why I was like, oh, like wasn't he literally like just speaking about like Diddy like earlier this year or last year or late last year? Like he was one of the ones that came out and spoke how he like something happened to him, something that Diddy did. Maybe Diddy diddled him or something. I don't know. But Diddy did something to him and he spoke out about it, and I guess because he had the money to make the documentary, so I guess, or produce it too. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like pop off, I guess, we, be a big one. You know. And it's crazy because I never really heard of like Diddy actually making music. I heard like he produced it, like him producing the music, but I didn't know he was like actually an artist himself, like as in like him singing in songs like that, until like until now. And he has some like hits. He has hits. I'm telling you, he has hits. He has hits, like songs I've heard for years. Oh, crap! I need to stop trying to be outrageous right now. Like music I've heard for years, but just never knew was him. Like that's the type of hit. Can I? Big old motherfucker. You mother trucker. Man hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. That's such a. Anyways, yeah. So it's such a good documentary. I do recommend it to you guys. Like halfway, like whenever it was like explaining some things, I was like, it felt very overwhelming because you were kind of like, you're like, did this really happen? Like the quote unquote coincidences that happened, you know, because they did happen, and the accusations that they put against him, which I do believe, to be honest, because of the like everything, because of everything. Because people were like saying that he was responsible for Tupac's death. His friend even said like that one friend that he sexually assaulted even said that. He said he was jealous of Tupac because Tupac was really close with Biggie, and Diddy wanted to be closer. He wanted to be, yeah. And yeah. Anyways, so he Diddy wanted to be like best friends with Biggie. He wanted to be like the right hand man of Biggie. Like he wanted to be his like favorite person. Like they were even using like instances that how close he wanted to be with Biggie. Like he they said that he wanted to be as close as like whenever he leaves, like he's not in the room, Biggie asks like, "Oh, where is he?" Like apparently that's how close uh, Diddy wanted to be with Biggie, and it's such a weird coincidence. Like, cause apparently they were like Tupac was on his way to record a song with Biggie, and they said it was like it wasn't a planned recording session. It was about like they said it was out of the blue. Like it was a like random, like really random. Like they weren't planning to make any music anytime soon, but but they called him up to go to make a song in the studio. And that studio, like literally right outside the studio, is where he Tupac got shot and he died. So the people were like, "Oh, like what a coincidence," like that, that happened, like right outside the studio. And there was like other instances, like one more recent one with Diddy's son, and apparently like him and his son, I think like what from the story that the not story from like the thing that they told, yeah, story, from the story that they told, because I don't want to say it's fiction because I don't really believe it's fiction, but from what they were saying, like the guy literally was like, oh, him, Diddy, and his son went to the restroom with some guy, and later on they walked. Diddy and his son walked out, but the guy like and like in between, whenever they went in there, he heard gunshots. So I'm kind of like, oh, oh. I was like, oh, I was like, oh, that's insane. Like That's crazy. Like, and like after he heard like the gunshots went off, a few moments later, Diddy and his son came out. That's literally what the guy who's telling like the story was saying. I was like, oh, I was like, for real? I was like, damn, I was like, that's crazy. That's like for real crazy. I was like, and I don't know. It felt like very overwhelming to me. Like very overwhelming. Because I was just like, that's crazy. Like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for like everything. Not for those. I'm gonna do this for this. Oh, this kind of sounds like a jelly. What the hell? Yeah, I like it for these, the ones in the middle. I don't know how I feel about putting them here. Maybe over here. Yeah, I like that. I don't like the ones at the other ones. But yeah, and like also the Biggie. So they said that Biggie when before he got killed, before he got uh, pop out, he was supposed to be in a European tour. Well, meet with the European conference, like the European meet with the European press, like about his music and everything. And Diddy was like supposedly, pushing that. He wanted Biggie to go, but then apparently last minute he kind of like backed off and told everybody, like told them that he can't go no more, and that he wanted to throw a party in the West Side, which was it East? No, it was yeah, it was the West Side. He wanted to throw a party in LA, and, like literally, while they were beefing with like the Bloods, you know what I mean? And he wanted to throw a party in basically the ops, like at the ops place, the people you don't fuck with, or don't fuck with you either. So he threw a party there, like a block party, and literally like before this, Biggie was like apparently being like very paranoid that people wanted to help out him. And people were like looking for him and like trying to like get at him. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't even picture this feeling because it's like just like imagine feeling that, like feeling like paranoid enough to feel like people are trying to get you. I was like, that's insane. And then like supposedly your friend, your best friend, is literally there like doing stuff. And even when before I think it was like when Tupac got um got put in jail, it was I think it was for like assault or something. I don't know. When he got put in jail, there was a thing where uh he Di, Puff was like literally putting things inside Biggie's mind so he can start beefing with Tupac, and then he heard like Tupac heard like that they were planning to, diss him and everything. They were like talking trash. So he decided to like put a diss track out for Biggie, even though there wasn't like any like nothing literally like nothing happened between them. It was just a lot of people in their heads that were that wanted them to beef basically, and it was basically I think like Diddy basically caused like a bunch of like death because a bunch of like RIPs because he like even whenever he started off he had like this block party in the gymnasium of like this high school, and 9 people apparently RIP'd because of a stampede that he caused because he over promoted and people wanted like to flood the doors and people RIP'd there, and that's really sad actually. So it's and he actually got like we're gonna say he got canceled basically, and he was like almost getting blackballed, but at the same time because he wasn't big enough to be blackballed, and and also like apparently they were saying like once he got like that little bit of like hype to him, he started believing it basically. And the people, his friend, the one that he, I say, um, he said like that once he got like that one bit of like hype, he started to like act different. He started like to move different. I was like, what do you mean? I was kind of like, what? Like it was so strange. I was like, oh my gosh. Like in like whenever I finished the documentary, it was weird because he has like all these charges, and they put like some of the people that the jury people like some of the jury, and they were speaking like they were like oh my god like a celebrity like they weren't looking at the facts like as they were they were looking at it as like oh there's a famous person in the room you know he it's probably like the first time he did this probably like the first time he did it he did this and where's my hoe. I literally left it here before I left. I don't know what chest I left it in though. But I think I left it in the top one, maybe. Where I leave my hoe at? I need to start leaving them on that. Oh, let me look for my hoe right now. It's not in here. Not in here. Not in here. Not here. That I might have. Yeah, I left it over here. I left that chest over here. The one with the plants and everything, with the crops. But yeah, he basically like. No, it's not here. Where's my hoe at? What the hell? Did I lose it when I died? No, because I still had it. I came back and I even put it in a chest before I left. But what? Oh, did I put it in one of these? I might have put it. Yeah, right here. Ugh. I was like, where's it at? I was like, where's it at? But yeah, he's like, he caused so many like disturbances, many like deaths, and apparently, so you know how he was with this girl named Cassie, the singer, and apparently they would have like, so there was one time where Cassie hired a male ex worker, to Diddy and her house, to Diddy's house, and apparently Diddy liked to watch her like get played with and like basically like directing it and filming it, He liked directing and filming it, so like they had like a real weird, you know, connection to each other, cause what do you mean, like sir, like what are y'all talking about? It was so weird, cause it's like, and apparently like they were like high off bricks, like they were as high as like they were high as kites, Um, yeah, though it was like I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like that's super like weird, like You're gonna hire somebody to so you can get them to like so you can direct them to do everything. And the guy he went with it because he was getting paid like a few grand. I think he said that for 3 nights that he was there, like constantly awake, no sleep. He like freaking out. He got paid like 6 grand, yeah, 6 grand, and that he would get called like every March, I think, or May, whatever, like once every like 6 months, basically, and like and to the day, to the day, like to a certain day, and yeah, it was super weird to him, and he didn't know that he beat Cassie until like a certain day where they're like where apparently Cassie was being too happy with being pleased, and he beat her. He literally smacked the crap out of her. I'm gonna take the this off. Where he beat the crap out of her and basically like didn't want her to enjoy herself too much. And he was like saying, "Oh, his PP is bigger than mine, huh? You're enjoying it." I was like, "Oh, you're enjoying it." Like he apparently didn't like when she was enjoying it too much. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, child. I was like, ooh. So you like, oh, it was they had and then like apparently like, after she enjoyed it too much, he beat her and the next day they were back together basically, like as if nothing happened. And I was like, that is so strange. I was like imagine that happening to you, and you get back with the person. That is like stupid. You both have the same mental capacity. Because they were saying that she apparently had like many times to leave the situation, just leave. But she's the one who basically like let him let him be in her life because they were saying that at the beginning of his relationships he wasn't really like that, but the more like his relationships progressed, the more he got comfortable and comfortable, he started like beating her, um and yeah, it was like so they were basically saying that like because there was one girl and it's like Middle Eastern guy, older guy, looked kind of not Middle Eastern. He looked like Hindu, Indian maybe. I don't want to like discriminate, but that's just what it is. But they were like her, and it was like this African, like a Black American girl too. That was like saying that there wasn't enough information to prosecute him of as in he was like an aggressor. He was like a because everybody like apparently they were saying that the media just runs with like one single thing and just starts pointing fingers. And they were saying, "Oh, it was just one video," and they're like, the interviewers asked them, they were like, "Do you think he can be an aggressive guy? Puff can be an aggressive guy." They said he can be, and I was like, "Oh, like," and then like like the scene cut to his ex friend now, and they said, "Well, do you think?" He was like they probably saw the video and thought he only did it one time. Like, this must be like the first time he ever did it, even though it's happened numerous times in the past. There was even before he got like super famous, one instance where like after the that gymnasium thing happened, his mom was like questioning, I think the owner of the place he used to intern at, and he was like saying she was like saying, "Oh, I don't think this is the right thing for my son. I don't know, this might be too dangerous." And he apparently went up to her and smacked her and called her a bitch and told her to STFU. Yeah, and well, she told her to STFU bitch, and and I was like, damn. So that's literally when it all started. And even before that, well, I don't know if this was before that or like after that. I think it was like a little bit before that. There was this one girl that like allegedly, used substances on her so she don't remember stuff, and R R8 her, and she knew what happened the whole time, and even the Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane, apparently there was somebody that came up to her and said that they were at his house and they were looking for the restroom, and then they saw like his bodyguard and him basically like R8 ing her, and Aubrey O'Day didn't even know that happened. And she literally said, she said, I didn't even know if I did or if I did not, because apparently like everything in the house, almost everything that you can like rub on yourself or eat or anything like that had like substances in it. Um, EKKACY. I think that's how it's spelled. Like, and they had like a bunch of like things in it, and so like the lube, the baby oil, they have substances mixed in it. They had the the snow in there too. It was snowing in there, pink snow, all colored snow, rainbow colored snow. Um, yeah, they had like everything in there, and they were even saying like one of a young producer that he used to like make music with, um, also saw him beat Cassie, and also he said he never like did any substances before until he got there because he um he got convinced by, I think, these like bodyguard to do certain things, and apparently whenever they were like high off bricks, high like all in the sky and everything, he got like he would wake up not remembering what happened, and like sometimes he would be in bed, like in a bed, or he would be like or on the floor, or sometimes like Diddy would be on the bed, or like things like that. And it was like I was like, oh my gosh. And he would be like sore, and I was like, what I was like, what? So like I feel like the freak offs are not like, I think people attend them being like, yeah, this was like so lit, but they don't remember like what happened after, you know? And apparently he would have parties, like regular parties, based off like a Harlem older parties, and then he would invite people to the after party. And I think that after party is where he started like to like lace and put substances in the like everything else. That's what I think. And you know, things started to get freaky there. That's just what I think, to be honest. Oh, that'll be insane because like imagine not being able to remember like what happened to you like at a certain day, and not knowing something bad happened to you, like something really bad happened to you. God damn it, stupid creeper, bro. Look at that pusher. But like it's just insane. Like whenever they said that that the one girl saw Ario Day getting by the bodyguard and him, um I was like, oh my gosh, like how insane do you have to be doing something like that, Like how idiotic, like how disgusting do you have to be doing something like that? Like that's super disgusting. And apparently he never acted like thuggish back when he was younger. Apparently, like he never did any of that whenever he was younger, and his friend even vouched for that. Like people around him vouched that he never wanted like any type of substance that can mess with your mind to be around him. And they said it was only the after eight nine people RIP'd in that gymnasium that something switched in him. That he started like allowing things to be around him. Allowing dangerous things to be around him to be around him. And I was like, oh, that's that's not okay. I like the way it's looking. I like these lights. I like them. They look nice. I need to make a Christmas tree, which I have the wood for. I just don't know how to build one. So, but yeah, it's such like overwhelming feeling, especially because it's like these people used to be normal, and apparently like well, his mom is the one who put that in his head that he like the like to live a certain lifestyle. Because apparently the only thing they would watch on TV, like the movies, everything, the music, was based off of like Harlem and like their older style type thing, and like the mafias, things like that. That's like what his I want to say childhood was like. He wanted to like do things like that, like the parties that he used to throw, like the before the freak offs. They were Harlem. They were like people said that they were basically like straight Harlem parties. They like you would get pushed in the middle and you had to dance. You couldn't not dance or you mess up the vibe. And I was like that part seemed so wholesome because I was like, oh, in the beginning he was good, but then something switched inside of him and now he was not good. It's like he let that get into his head and he just started like doing things that was not right. So yeah, that's literally what like kind of like it like kind of like ticked me off a little bit, because it was like damn, like one thing. It wasn't a simple thing. I would not lie, but it was like you let one thing get into your head and now you're suddenly all this. And he wasn't gangster. He wanted he got accepted into Howard University and he was even in it, but he dropped out to be a wannabe gangster. Uh, Basically, is what they said. With which, what I got from it, that he wanted to create music as if he was living in the hood, even though he was a golden boy. Basically, even though he had that life, he didn't have that life, so he wanted to believe he did. He wanted to believe that he grew up in those circumstances. He wanted to like he wanted to be. He's literally like an internet gangster basically. He's like, but like he's like a fake gangster. He was a fake gangster back then, and he was always the one to. He couldn't pick up the pow pow. He couldn't do the pow pow. The pew pew. The little GUN, and he was always the one who couldn't pick that up and do the hard work to be the gangster, to be but but he wanted to do he was basically all talk and no bark, basically all talk and no bark. That's what that's literally one of the words they said. Like he was all bark. He wasn't he wasn't gonna do the hard work to be considered that, and he based his life off of people that that he grew up like watching, but he wasn't that person. He didn't grow up in those same circumstances. Anyways, I'll be right back, so I'll leave the screen like this. I need to go take a restroom break. See you guys later.